Hi, my name's Ilma and welcome to my channel. I've been posting Christian devotionals for the last 9 years and daily, and today I'd like to share James 1:26-27. Here's the Word of God. If anyone thinks himself to be religious, yet does not bridle his tongue but deceives his own heart, this person's religion is worthless. Pure and undefiled religion in the sight of our God and Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself unstained by the world. James 1:26-27. Here's my devotional. Undefiled and pure religion. In this letter, James drives a point to the hearts of believers. He is cautioning them to be careful how they live their lives, especially if they have already heard the gospel. He also warns them how religious leaders and teachers can be so focused on the law and their teachings and may have lost sight of truth. In verse 26, he tells them to be wary of how works of religion can lead them to deception in their own hearts and minds. James wanted them to know that honesty and adhering to the Word of God will make them discern what is true and what is not. He stresses the importance of bridling their tongues, by which the bridling their tongues. Easton Bible Dictionary says Hebrew's mashon signifies a muzzle or halter or bridle, by which the rider governs his horse. I think what James meant here is to control one's tongue. Why is it so important to do so? Without restraint with words, one can sin. Even Solomon cautions us in Proverbs 21:23 that whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. James explains that it leads to a deceived heart. In verse 27, James brings the message of what true and undefiled religion is according to how God sees it. Pure religion is to take care and love the orphans and widows. You may be wondering why widows. We live in a different generation now, but in the time of Jesus, widows are the most weak and vulnerable people. The notion that widows needed someone to take care of them rests on ideas about the legal and social status of women. So I'm quoting Susan Hyman, a Bible expert. She says that perhaps the most important is the idea that widows could not possess their own property. A wife was dependent on her husband, and when he died, she went to live with her father's household if she was alive, or to an adult son if she had one. Having a father or son was fortunate because the other widows were entirely without resources. We are to care for the helpless and weak. As believers, we are also cautioned not to meddle with the system of the world in order to stay pure and uncorrupted. Religion is not a denomination or a church organization. It is a way of life that follows God's law of loving the weak and vulnerable and keeping oneself holy and blameless. Reflection. How has this teaching of James changed your notion of religion based on your knowledge of it according to the world? Well, yes, because some denominations and other churches propagate a commercial notion of religion. It becomes like a venue for you to do good works so that one organization will profit or benefit. And that is a man-made religion. But true and undefiled religion, according to James, according to God's notion of religion, is this: to take care of the weak and to make sure that you are not corrupted by the system of the world, and that you bridle your tongue so that you will not be deceived and you will stay righteous and holy. So in other words, for you to be able to do the loving act of taking care of the weaker people in our society is because you are chosen by God to be His. So if you are His, you will follow Him, because He says, as He is holy, so should you. Thanks for watching. I hope you check my website at ilmaars.com for artworks, photographs, and a copy of this blog. And I hope you subscribe to my channel on YouTube so I could make more videos to bring truth to your hearts and homes. Thanks for watching.